Hey, what's up? We're back. A couple more expeditions trying to knock out this last quest. The last video was only 4 wins and was a slogfest. It was win loss win loss, or it was loss win loss win loss win. It was bad. And the one before that, unfortunately, there was way too much background noise. My house is pretty full right now, so we are going to jump back into this with trial 2 of the second run. See what we get. Twisted Fate, Zoe, Riven. Huh. I usually like Twisted Fate, just as a champion, but Riven's been performing pretty well. Not a big fan of Zoe. She's super weak, not a great win condition on her own. She can win, don't get me wrong. If you somehow manage to level her, sometimes you can slam a big elusive or something, but she also dies to literally everything. A 1-1 for 1 is not really where I want to be in expeditions. You usually really want to be putting stats on the board or developing some kind of tempo, or at least major value. And her value is too expensive. You do get the star chart, which is sweet, but unfortunately, it costs 2 mana, or it requires subsequent hits to make it cheaper. It's really painful. That being said, Moon Dreamer is pretty solid. Sleepy Bubble Trouble, not so much. This card is questionable. It is removal, but it's 5 mana and 2 slow actions, which is a little rough. That being said, Battlestar itself is pretty good, but I think we're just gonna go with Riven here. I've really been liking Noxus in the new set for expeditions. Okay. I think we're going to go Sejuani here. Really great stats again, 5-6 for 6. Gives us that solid mid-range shell that I like to play. Scarred Maiden Reaver is no joke either. It's really hard, short of like a Vengeance or something, it's really hard sometimes for people to deal with a 4-5. At least easily without committing multiple resources. And it does have regeneration, which can oftentimes just shut down people's attacks. Yeah. And Elixir of Iron, super solid, so not a lot to question there. Sharpened Resolve is alright. I don't care for Brothers Bond that much. Another Reaver and an Ursine is okay, but that's 2 more 5-drops, which basically locks our top end pretty heavily. Lonely Poro is questionable. Babbling Beard is plenty fine, right? 3-3 for 4, draws you a card, not bad, but you know, we're just gonna try Big Dumb Idiots here, I think. See if we can get some cheaper stuff to go with it. Okay. Ember Maiden is actually pretty solid. And Elixir of Iron number 2 is great. Shatter's alright, and obviously it combos with Ice Veil Archer, which is fine. But I do like Ember Maiden. Helps deal with a lot of 1 toughness dudes that get left behind. There's a lot more dude-on-dude combat in expeditions, I feel like. And just being able to clean up anything that survives. Usually what'll happen is they'll go in with a 3-3, you'll block with something, and they'll buff it up just enough to survive with 1 HP, and that gives you something to do with that. Here we have a really interesting decision, I think. Ruthless Raider is good because we could use another 2-drop, and it does survive Ember Maiden, which is relevant. And Take Heart's not bad. +3/+3, it only hits damaged allies, which is a little unfortunate, but oftentimes that's really big. Fury of the North is +3/+4 for 1 extra mana, but also only lasts for 1 round. It's not great. Although the Mighty Poro is also pretty solid. But here I think we're just going to take the cheaper cards. Rune Weaver's okay, and Weapon Hilt is fine. But with Riven, I don't really look to get the Blade of the Exile. I don't really even look to level her up that much. Honestly, she's just a 3-4 for 4 3-4 for 3 most of the time. And I think that's the path we're going to play. If we happen to get some Reforged stuff, if we happen to level her, great. Obviously, she does really well leveled with stuff like Fury of the North, and even Take Heart. But in fact, she doesn't... It's a bit of a dream to get her leveled and get her buffed and get a win with it. I mean, it's great when it happens, and it does happen from time to time, but it's not reliable. So Howling Abyss is absolutely obscene. Absolutely obscene. Um, and Tall Tales is good if we can pick up a Yeti, and it's still it's really not good if you don't pick up a Yeti. It's okay. Um, if you just have nothing else to do with your mana, being able to know you're going to draw into a 5/5 is okay, and I do mean the bottom of the barrel okay, but Howling Abyss is good enough a lot of the times to probably be worth it. Otherwise, we're just picking up a couple of reforged things. Yeah, we're going to take this. We can always also possibly trade Tall Tales out, or even pick up like Avarice and Trappers and other Yeti generators. Well, this is where it gets awkward, having so many Earth Signs, or so many 5-drops, I should say, which really like 4/6, 4/5s, right? They're roughly the same, but and Assessor's also really not doing much without buffs, which is unfortunate. Although it should be noted that Earth Sign can level up, or not level up, but get its Plunder trigger off of Ember Maiden. So the real question is, do we want a third Elixir of Iron, or do we want Battle Fury? Battle Fury is really expensive. It's a solid card. Or maybe, you know what, actually, maybe we just pick this up, because it does come with a cheap 2-drop. A cheap 2-drop. All 2-drops are 2 mana. It does come with a 2-drop. And as much as I don't love Wrathful Raider, I don't really want another Spirit Walker either. So I think this is fine. We are sorely lacking on 4-drops. They really just want me to have Spirit Walkers and nothing but Spirit Walkers. Here we'll pick up the Archer and the Wildclaw. Wildclaw is basically Draven. Really solid 6-drop. Not quite as big as level Draven, obviously, but big enough most of the time that it doesn't matter. And yeah, Iceveil Archer's a sweet pickup too. Ancient Yeti's not bad. It does give us a Yeti. It goes down in cost over time if we do get it in our opening hand. We do get a 4-drop with it, Wolf Rider, which we desperately need in this deck. Both the 4-drop and its Plunder effect is solid if we get it off. Unscarred Reaver is not particularly great, although it does combo with Ember Maiden. Troll Chant is phenomenal, and I generally like to have a Troll Chant, but I'm not going to take an Unscarred Reaver just to pick up a Troll Chant, so we're going to grab this and hope we don't get too top heavy. They just keep shoving 5-drops down my throat. I don't love getting too many Elixir of Irons, although it is a super cheap trick that's often solid enough. Do we want another Take Heart? I generally don't like too many Take Hearts because it's so narrow, but otherwise we're just picking up a Big Elephant and a Crimson Disciple, which we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4 2-drops. You know, maybe this is worth it. We're getting a lot of top end though, or a lot of big expensive things. The problem with big expensive things, anything 6+, you have a hard time casting more than one of them in a turn if that's all that's in your deck. So you wind up getting outpaced by anything that can go wide around you. We also desperately need 3-drops. This deck is it's a little lacking. So I think we'll just take the Crimson Disciple. We don't have enough 2s, we don't have enough 3s, we don't have enough 4s. As much as I don't love the Tusk Rider, hopefully we'll get to trade out one of these 5 or 6-drops for something cheaper. Is really really all we can hope for. This is great though. We get a Mighty Poro. Scarthane Stefan is better as far as the When I Survive damage cards go. So I'm happy to grab that. It's better than the 1-drop for sure. Okay, so here, if we want to keep our curve low, we can take Saboteur and Culling Strike. Honestly, if we were getting offered a bird, I might consider it, but we're not aggressive enough, I think, for Saboteur to be worth it. I think what we really want is a way to survive the early game and ways to ramp. So Avalanche and Catalyst kind of fill that niche there. I don't think we have enough spells we're going to be casting all the time. And we do have a couple elixirs, but we're not going to be spamming spells, so Starlit Seer is not that great, especially being forced to take an Unscarred Reaver with it. However, I don't mind picking up a second Ember Maiden and Again, Ancient Yeti is a 7-drop when you draw him, but he does get cheaper every turn, so... otherwise it would be... We're not taking Suit Up ever. The other option would be Blade Squire or Rune Weaver, both of which Reforge. The issue with Reforge in this deck, while we do have a good amount of Overwhelm, only one of the Reforges adds damage. The other one adds Quick Attack, which is also great a lot of the times, but the third one is Overwhelm, which is not necessarily what we want. Also, we have a lot of expensive stuff, so having spare mana to be able to cast the spare, or the, what are they called? The Blade Fragments? Not necessarily great. So we'll grab this. That puts us at 2 Ancient Yetis, alright. Again, we really want, at this point, 2s and 4s. Crimson Awakener, well, I mean, it's technically a 4. It's good with Scarthane. It's not great with Riven or Poro. Generally, it'll kill Maiden if Maiden hasn't already killed itself. Ruthless survives it. It kills Runeweaver. It kills Archer. It's good with Disciple. I think we're actually going to pick this up. Actually, on second thought. Yeah, I don't know that we're going to need Scorched Earth. Most of our units are big enough to kill other units. Yeah. I think we're going to take this. We really do need a 4-drop. So. Now, this is interesting. We are mostly Freljord, so we could trade the Catalyst out for Avarosan. When that goes off, it's pretty insane. It is a 4-drop that we really need. That being said, we're not hitting much with Trifarian, so I'm also happy to trade that out for Crimson Disciple, and we want to trim a 5-drop anyway, so I think that's probably going to be the pick. Howling Abyss is really good, Catalyst is really good. Harshwinds and Avarosan are also insane, so it's unfortunate they offered us the trades this way. But Trifarian is not doing as much as we would like in this deck. If we do cast it on 5, it's missing most of the time, which means we have to hope for either upgraded Earth Sign, play it after Wrathful Rider, and somehow Wrathful Rider survives, play it after Alpha Wildclaw or after Tusk Rider, and then we're already probably winning. It can go well if we somehow get a couple of Ancient Yetis that get super cheap and we drop them for next to nothing into a Trifarian, but that's unlikely. So I'm happy just trading the Trifarian out of here for the moment and grabbing another 2-drop. This deck is a little bit awkward, but if we can get through the first couple of games, even if we take a couple of losses, we should be able to shape this up into a decent pile, I think. We are, unfortunately, sorely lacking freezes. There are no freezes in this deck. And again, something like Darius, a freeze is really what you want. Okay, so Sejuani and the 2-1 or 3-1 are technically freezes, but not the kind of freezes we're usually after. It's pure Noxus, so Avalanche is probably going to be okay. I don't know how good, but okay. Especially coupled with Ember Maiden. We can do 3 to everything. It's unlikely we are the aggressor in this game, though. It is possible. We'll see what this curve looks like. We're going to play this. Probably not going to block, though. Although his Darius gets big if we take damage. I'm curious if he'll attack. He did attack. We're not going to block because we have Ember Maiden. Sure. Ember Maiden happens to contest Riven as well, by doing 1 damage to it and then blocking, if they had played Riven there. Now if he attacks, I will block with the Reaver because we do have an Awakener in hand. Ooh. That is a lot of damage. We'll probably just take the Plunder effect then. We could use the mana to try and get back into this. He's going to give it quick attack. Alright. In that case... I mean, in that case, we're just going to have to take it. Not a lot of choice there. We have the overwhelm here, so a little damage will push through. That's really good, because now if he plays Darius, we're not completely screwed. We're basically locked out of Awakener for a while, though, but... A 5/4. We can't super profitably block it. So I think we'll just play Riven. We're blocking like that because we have Avalanche to follow up for any cleanup. The Overwhelm is interesting. The fact that he's not even considering blocking the Scar Maiden tells me he probably doesn't have a buff in hand. Wow, he's actually taking that damage. I assume that's Darius? That's Darius. Ten's not enough to kill us. Unless he has a buff for it, and then we're in trouble. Which, he has enough fragments in hand, he might actually be able to do it. It's weird that that's the one he's stunning, but sure. Here we just want as much health as possible, so we just play this naked. He'll stun that, that's fine. He still needs an additional 4 damage to push through, so let's see what he's got. Well, we're dead. Wait, why did he put that there? Is he just running the full blade? Yeah, he's just running the full blade. Okay. So that's going to push 1 damage over. That's going to push 5 damage over. And then we die, right? Like perfect lethal. I'm pretty sure we died perfect lethal. Yeah, unfortunate. That's the downside to not having burst speed freezes. Hopefully we can pick one up in the trade-off, though. Also, double paralyzing spider was unfortunate. That's pretty, well, yeah, that's pretty good. Tall Tales, not super great. Not that Ember Maiden is amazing to have a bunch of, but we're fine taking that trade. Would have preferred a Flash Freeze. Well, all of Heimer's turrets have 1 health. There's the tough one, so that's irrelevant. But And Zoe is 1 health. So what's her name is pretty good. Scar Maiden? Or Ember Maiden? I don't know, I said Scar Maiden. There's Zoe. Yep. What are the odds he plays something I care about? I'm fine just attacking. The biggest worry there is that he gets a bunch of 3/3 elusives. That could wind up becoming a problem. Yikes. Well, that pretty much shuts down our whole attack. On the plus side, Armored Tusk Rider is fairly solid. This might be a quick run. The 2/2's getting there, which is a little weird. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Here we're just going to throw this here. Sets up a decent avalanche. I think aggressively avalanching is one of my favorite things to do in this game. I don't know if he's hoping to get Zoe leveled before she dies or what the deal is there, but do you have to be careful with judgment? Four, five, six, and then 7, 8. do that so he survives. Wait, he dies? Oh, God, the Fury. Holy cow. Mistakes were made. I forgot about the Fury. That was dumb. We might be hosed. That was a huge mistake. Especially if you got something big off of that our elephant can't punch through. That was a big, big oopsie. I don't care about mushrooms. I don't care about messengers. You got a supernova. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that last turn probably threw this. Okay. Do we have anything left in the deck that can even punch through? That's a solid card in general. Start putting on a little extra pressure. I'm not going to be able to attack here. Depending on what he does here, that's not the worst draw. Hopefully no 3 damage spell. I don't like this card. Yep, that's enough. Wait to surrender. Yep, well that was a quick run. Zero wins. Classic. Sometimes you make mistakes. It's just important to recognize them. We'll just go ahead and jump straight into another game and see what we can do. I usually really like Ash, but I don't want a bunch of Tavern Keepers. I don't think. I don't like Zeebles. Leona's fine. Zeebles is, well, sometimes it's fine, but I don't love it. Death's Door. Do I want Ezreal with Shadow Isles? Do I want Ezreal even? He comes with some pretty good cards. You know what? Let's go for it. Do something a little bit different. Redoubled Valor's pretty silly. I think Lux is probably, well, I don't know. Like, Thresh isn't super great with Ezreal, but he's a 3/6 challenger. I mean, that's really what he's there for. Deadbloom Wanderer is questionable, unless we pick up anything that cares about tossing your deep. I mean, it's a 3/2 lifesteal, but it's expensive. Vengeance is great. Vengeance is extremely great. Let's go with the Lux. So 6/5 for 4, which is really good. Radiant Guardian is solid, but Mobilize is super bad. Progress Day is great, and Puffcat Peddler is fine. I do love Flash of Brilliance, and Mage Seeker's okay. And Grand Moments in general is something we want to pick up to go with Lux. But Progress Day works as well, so I think we'll just take these. I do like a Ranger's Resolve. It's a super solid trick. It's really cheap. A lot of people don't expect it. But at the moment, we're pretty spell heavy, and we want to be pretty spell heavy. I don't know about Parade Electro Rig. Aftershock's good, though. Redeemer's fine. Create 4 copies of the supported ally in your deck. Is there anything we actually want to shuffle a bunch of into our deck? And unless it's Ezreal or Lux, not really. You don't have to shuffle things, so. They all have Aftershock. Well, I guess we're getting an Aftershock. I do like Succession. As it stands, we don't. I mean, we have 1/1 drop, but it's not required to be played on 1, and we don't have any 2 drops, and Succession functions as a 2 drop, while also later working with Lux and possibly Ezreal. I say possibly because Ezreal has to be leveled, and at the moment we have 1, 2, 3 ways to target enemies. Shady character, not really what we want to be doing, so that one's pretty much out. Cloning program's okay. I don't know if that counts for targeting for Ezreal. If you pick an enemy, it says you've targeted enemies. This doesn't say target, but I assume it counts. And for that reason, I think we'll take this one. Thermogenic Beam is great, and I don't hate Astute Academic. It's not my favorite, but you know, what can you do? Possession's okay, but oftentimes it's not enough. It's good at the top of like an aggressive curve where they play a giant minion that can potentially shut down your attack, or like a mid-range kind of pile where they play, a bigger minion that can shut down your attacks and you just steal it. But other than that, it's kind of bad, and Haunted Relic's not really where we want to be. Thermogenic is great, and it's exactly where we want to be. Flash of Brilliance, also where we want to be. Silverwing Ivory's okay. It does have that really cheeky, tough keyword, which is sometimes enough. I think here, I don't want Chainfest. If this was something other than Chainfest, maybe we take this because Vanguard Cavalry is fine, but here I think we just take the Mage Seekers. They kind of do what we need them to do, which is early gameplay that can potentially be really good once you cast a 6+ spell, so it's good later on, and Conservator, which generates 6 mana spells. For that reason, back-to-back is also really good, and Eager Apprentice is great because it gives us an early play that doesn't drain our spell mana. Or we could take Aftershock because it can target enemies. I don't really want another Aftershock. We have 2. I had a deck with like 4 Aftershocks once, and it is a little too much. They do kill most things, but they are slow speed and they are 4 mana. Death Ray is not as bad as I thought it would be, but it's not particularly great. It does clog up your draws with potentially bad cards. And Eminent Benefactor is alright. The epic cards, you can include things like Judgment. I think Progress Day is epic. Yeah, it can hit Progress Day. Unfortunately, it can also hit stuff like Redoubled. Oh wait, no, that's a rare. Never mind. I forget what else it can hit. Maybe that is fine. We're not necessarily an Ezreal deck. Ezreal's just a unit. How many creatures do we have? We have 10 creatures or units. Yeah, I think we'll take the back-to-back Eager Apprentice. I don't want these again, I don't think. Sunpork's map is Grant, which is interesting, but I don't want another Parade either. I think it's just Sharpsight, Loyal Badger. Sharpsight is almost hands down one of the best combat tricks in Demacia, if not the best. It's hard to say. I mean, Sharpsight versus like single combat, but Sharpsight is really, really good. And Badger Bear, it's just Riven, right? It's 3/4 for 3. It's Riven without the upside. Karina. This is unfortunately not a Karina deck. We only have 10 spells, so not where we want to be. We definitely don't want more cloning, so it looks like we're unfortunately picking up another back-to-back, but a succession is welcome. We never did pick up the Ranger's Resolve, so I don't mind grabbing it, and I don't mind grabbing Riposte, but we need to make sure we have enough units to make those useful, and right now we already have 2 back-to-backs, as well as some other kind of things we can do. But what else are we doing? I guess Redeemer Vanguard is fine. I don't know if we want a second Progress Day, especially at the cost of picking up Shady Character. Did we get Eminent? We took Eminent, right? We did not. So here we can just take this. Mage Seekers can chump for a long time and sometimes generate enough value to really get you where you need to be. Gotcha's also solid. And Plaza Guardian casts enough spells, it's a pretty big dude, but maybe that is what we need. We don't really have like any kind of big finishers. Redoubled Valor, I guess, is our big finisher, and it's so easily countered. Yeah, I'm just gonna take these though. Keep our curve strong. Oh wait, we still have more picks. I am a little out of it today. Well, I definitely don't want Stony Suppressor in my spell deck, and I don't really want a 4th Mage Seeker, so we can ignore that one. For Demacia is not really... It can win games, don't get me wrong. You can win Stalemates super hard. It's slow, though. I need to have a lot of units on the board to make use of it, and I don't really want another 1-drop. We already have 4, and we're not really that kind of a deck. But Eager Apprentice is solid, and I guess we can take a 3rd Aftershock. Now that's something I like to see. I don't want Electro Rig. The Detain off Mage Seeker is okay, but we'll just take Captain Enrica. It's a pretty solid top end. Can sometimes just either remove a really big threat or just let you remove a blocker and help punch through. It's not as good as like Captain Pharaon in terms of ending games, but sometimes it's the effect you need. It does come with Spell Shield. With this deck, we're mostly looking to get in some chip damage, control the board as much as we can, And hopefully in the game of Lux, some combination of Lux and or Ezreal, or maybe just finishing off with a couple of dudes if there's no enemies in the way. All in all, we're kind of weak, but one good back-to-back can completely end a game, so. Well, it says we have a match, but it's still saying find a match, so we'll see if we get anywhere here. Oh. Alright, we're just going to cancel that and re-queue up. I don't know what's going on there. It's not super late. There should be people on. Maybe it's just an awkward hour, I don't know. There we go. Lulu Maokai, now that's a combination. I don't know what to expect from that. I imagine it's just a Lulu deck that happens to have Maokai in it. I think here we'll just kick one Apprentice. Okay. See if he gets in for his one. Yep. This is great because Apprentice fills up our spell mana, so it's like we played nothing at all. Here I'm fine just playing Ezreal. And we're... Actually, that's kind of interesting. Do we care if he draws a spell versus his... Yeah, you know what? I'd rather him not draw a spell. We have Sharp Sight to deal with that thing being a 3/3, so... Yeah, perfect. Glimpse Beyond. Alternatively, I could have used Iterative Improvement on it, which might have been a consideration. But it also means if we had targeted the Bark Beast, he could have just made that same play, so... More importantly, he's not drawing spells off of that. Okay, so he'll buff that to a 5/4, which is a bit out of reach for anything other than the Puffcat Peddler. I guess I could have played... Oh, good, he's playing another card. Do we need the Sharp Sight? He might buff Lulu and then have Lulu buff Bark Beast, or he might have Lulu buff Pix buff Bark Beast. If he does Lulu, Pix, Bark Beast, it's a 4/4 and a 5/4 I have to deal with. So we're probably chumping over Sharp Sighting. Okay. I was a little confused there. Okay, well that's dying. And we'll just put the damage on here, I think. I don't think we need to chump block with this. Actually, she needs to die to Mystic Shot, so yeah. Reckoning, unfortunately, not going to be live for most of the game. He could save it. Huh? He doesn't have it. Good. Good. Doom Beast. That's fine. We can always steal that with iterative improvement later or something if we need to. For now, I'm okay with this, though. Gives that elusive. That's fine. We're probably going to back-to-back when he attacks here. Or he can just surrender. That works, too. Almost there to the epic shinies. Okay, so this is interesting because I don't really want a third back-to-back, and I definitely don't know how I feel about a fourth Mage Seeker. So Lux is probably out for that reason, even though Lux is a solid card. Ezreal's an interesting second, but it does force us to take a Death Ray and yet another Aftershock, which I'm still not thinking is where we want to be. Heimerdinger, however, is great. We do have a bunch of spells that he can benefit from. It comes with another Puff Cap and gives us a Detain Generator, which is alright. So I think we'll just take the Heimerdinger here. We also, incidentally, don't have a 5-drop, so... Not that we always have to curve out, and in fact, you generally don't play Heimerdinger on curve unless you happen to have mana to protect him. But he's another another way to just close out games. Since even generating, you know, 1 or 2 turrets is sometimes enough to, depending on what they are, sometimes enough to close out games. It also means we'll prioritize like Flash of Brilliance a little higher. And just any burst spells in general. 6 mana spells are great for him. Because he generates elusive turrets off of those. So back-to-back is fine. But we are going to kick him because we're against a much more aggressive deck. Or what I assume is more aggressive. Riven Fiora. Some kind of aggro or mid-range. Yep. I'm fine if he pulls it and trades. Ours was basically free. We do take a little bit of damage. Oh, good. That's one I actually really don't mind stealing. If he gives us a window to here without attacking. I gets 2, right? We could just Aftershock that now. Or we can single back-to-back. Or we can play this and double back-to-back. As much as I want to steal the Egghead, I would rather just get full value out of this. This is online now. If he passes, I'm snap passing back. Happy to waste his turn. Because we don't have a ton of follow-up, so just pressuring for 5 damage or so isn't enough. Ooh, that's unfortunate. We'll just push 2 then. Oh, if he blocks, he blocks. Can't imagine he will. Oh, he will. Okay. Shame that's not an exact copy, but we do have another back-to-back, which is kind of funny. Depending on what he plays. Do I want to steal that? I kind of do. It lets us burst pass. It's really the only reason we're doing that. Okay, that does level Israel. Or triggers level up. So I was kind of hoping it would. Ooh, quick attack. That's a little annoying. But we still have to go for this play and just hope for the best. Specifically that he doesn't have a way to buff these. Or deal damage. Good. What has he got? 8? Sure. Here we'll take the, we'll just take the hit. Ooh. Now that's interesting. Is that tapped out enough? I really don't know. If we do that, we have literally nothing else we can do this turn. We can play it at fast speed, though. I think we have to go for it. Hopefully he doesn't have another detain. Interestingly, this can now generate Captain Arika. Which would be a fairly unfortunate turn of events. Okay. Did he quit? I don't know. Hmm. Let's open with this. Yeah, I think he quit. It does feel bad I generated that randomly. Alright, but he's asserting his dominance by not surrendering. There it goes. And that gets us the shiny chest, which will open at the end of this run. Well, I really don't want another eminent or another aftershock. I mean, astute academic is not super needed, and another flash of brilliance feels great. Tri-beam improbulator is interesting. It can be a really good card, and it's probably better most of the time than Silverwing. Actually, maybe that is worth it. Sometimes Tri-beam's really good, sometimes it's really bad. Is the problem. We do have 9 3-drops. I don't know what the odds are. Like on average, how much damage it's going to do? Probably 3. We don't have card draw really, so well we have progress day, but we don't have a lot of card draw to really guarantee we get the tri-beam when we need it. I think this is just the safer. Although Astute Academic does contest aggro, so maybe it's worth keeping. I don't know. If we do this, we get to keep our elusive blocker. It's hard to say. Flash of Brilliance is best with Heimerdinger. It's okay with Lux. I mean, multiples can level Lux at burst speed, which is relevant. And it does get spells that sometimes just win you the game, like last game. You know what? We'll take the Tri-beam. Vladimir Sejuani, okay. So big dumb idiots. Or some kind of like rush you down combo. But we'll keep one of those. Just as an early blocker. And now we can assert our dominance by attacking for 1. That is a card. But we can block that one, so. Ooh, Battle Fury. That's a nice one. I don't think it's worth using Thermo right now. Not when we can just threaten it with this. We unfortunately do need to get a unit down. So even though we don't get to draw a card off of that, it's kind of got to happen. We shoot this one so if he does have a trick, he doesn't trigger the damage there. We won't have back-to-back this turn, or really almost anything in our hand, which is a little awkward. Oh, actually, we can back-to-back. Just kidding. We can Flash of Brilliance into back-to-back. I mean, I'm happy to just block here. That one will kill. If we can. I mean, if he has Elixir of Iron or Troll Chant, it feels pretty bad. But it looks like he doesn't. So unless he draws it here. It's probably safe to assume that we can just ping the 2/2 off with Mystic Shot and be fine. Okay. He didn't use the Troll Chant to save his... Alright. Sure, bud. He didn't use the Troll Chant to save his giant minion. But he used the Troll Chant to save his, or to... I mean, I guess it works, because it lets him play that to ping it. I don't know. Just a weird decision. I wonder if he has a freeze. My safest bet is probably just Burst Pass. Ooh, that's interesting. I mean, he could have a Flash Freeze. He could have a Fury of the North. And he does have a Fury of the North, unfortunately. And we don't have enough damage to kill it. That's awkward. That's real awkward. Basically everything about this hand is getting pretty awkward. That shouldn't look too weird because it is incidentally the only one we can target without getting punished for it. Oh, okay, then there's that guy. We do get a hair here, though, which is weirdly not bad. And we get a target for our Improbulator, which is super good. This Judgment's looking real awkward, though, with our, well, now 2 power guys. So, back to back. Let us kill that. Kill that. We can just chump here. That's fine. I take 1 damage, but that still dies at least. Which is really all I care about there. I could have actually redouble Valored Ezreal. But he would have just responded with guillotine, so I'm glad I didn't. Once again, our hand is it's real awkward. Probably gonna need a progress day, if possible. Hopefully he isn't able to put out too much power on the board. That's something. Give him the old burst pass. That's problematic. And he does have Overwhelm. Oh wait, he has Overwhelm too? While Aura is in effect. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. That will do exact lethal, so I basically need to Battle Fury. Right, Judgment won't help me survive. Static Shock won't help me survive, it's gotta be Battle Fury. Throw that there. Throw that there, throw that there. And we're live. Barely, but we're alive. That doesn't have regen, which is important to note. I'll just play Heimerdinger here. We'll probably need to Eureka something. I don't think a redoubled Valor is going to be enough. Oh, that's a pretty good draw. Another Vladimir. Holy cannoli. So this will let us detain. This will give us a giant 11/11. I'll have to chump block with Heimer. Oh wait, this will give us a turret too. Just kidding. Deal 1 to it, drain 1 from the enemy nexus. So he'll do exactly 2 damage to me with that. Or I can just play this and win the game, which also seems fine. I have Detain if he has any shenanigans, so. I don't know what he can draw to get out of this at this point, other than 3 damage to my dome. That's certainly relevant. We're just going to do this. I mean, he could draw some kind of burn spell. Well, actually, I don't think there is a burn. I guess if he had Decimate in his deck, Decimate would have killed us. Oh, that was uncomfortably close. Vladimir showing up right when he needed it. Alright, I'm going to take a quick break here. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Now with some much needed water. Alright. I really don't want a second Redoubled Valor, so Heimerdinger's out. I would not mind the Remembrance, simply because it can be cast on 3. But we do have some cheaper cards. I think we're just going to have to go with the Ezreal, honestly. We have too much stuff that costs too much mana, I think. Third back-to-back feels really, really bad. Like, it's great if we can trade one out or trade out Redoubled Valor later, but we're, ooh, that's tough. That is tough. You know what? Let's go with the Lux. I definitely don't want to Redoubled Valor, but Remembrance is really solid. This is an extremely greedy pick. I think the correct pick is the Ezreal. Since we don't want to overextend our curve too hard. Shen TF, okay. 2 Shen, 1 TF it looks like. Or 2 and 2. 32 counters, yeah, 2 and 2. Or 3 and 1, I suppose. Alright, we'll keep Eager Apprentice. Since it's, well, if we're playing this on, yeah, we'll do this. We'll play Succession on 2, Badger Bear on 3, and that gives us at least a 3 damage Improbulator. Feels pretty bad if he has Nopify, but it's really hard to play around something like that in Expeditions. Scales of the Dragon. We don't have any way to kill that before he buffs it, so we'll go for this. He actually did not choose to buff it, rather. Importantly, it is slow speed. If he does decide to buff it, we'll just chump block with Mage Seeker, and then Eager Apprentice for the mana, probably. If this is Shen, we probably just go straight to killing Scales. Okay. In that case, what are we doing next turn? We don't have anything to cast with Heimerdinger at the moment, so playing him's kind of awkward. We'll probably just play this. It does make him more likely to Dragon's Protection that. Oh, he's just going to pass. Well, in that case, we'll take the pass. Now we have Aftershock. I think we just swing in here. I'm fine trading this. I don't love it, but Excuse me. If he does have an answer for Heimer, we're in a little bit of trouble. What is that, +3? Alright, so it's at 5. That's fine. You likely play Shen here, in that case. Yep, that seems about right. We'll probably have to combine spells to kill Shen. And just chump block with the Conservator. Well, that is undesired. I mean, in that case, I definitely want to get at least 1 unit. Or 1 spell off, I mean. The question then is which one? Yeah, unfortunately, we do lose the Heimerdonger. Ooh, Scrap Shot's a pretty good draw. It's up to 4 now. So it still kills the Shen. It feels pretty bad if he barriers it or something, though. We'll just pass here. We do have the Scrap Shot, so 8, 9, 10, 11. So now we can try beam it and then Scrap Shot it. If he barriers or something. Wait, how much does this do? 7? Well, here's to hoping no barrier. Oh, geez, and he has another one. That's really unfortunate. We might be donezo. The only good news is we can chump this stuff for a long time, but eventually that's going to level up to be a problem. Here I'm happy just putting damage on this guy, and we'll generate a card. And we'll put damage here because we have the Silverwing Vanguard. It might not be enough, but we have it, and it might be our only option. That's a really bad pull. Will of Ionia. Sure, bud. In general, I'm pretty okay with that. I should have attacked with this too. That was a mistake. That's a really bad card. Draw 1 for 7 mana. That's fine. We've got Arika in the deck. Ooh, we've got Lux too. That's unfortunate. Just kidding, I'll pull it. He has a lot of mana and a lot of cards though, which is pretty scary. And we have no cards. That's a really weird play. He could have used that to just lethal us whenever he wanted to. Not lethal, but pretty close to. But I guess it works. Strange. What can we do here? I guess this blocks here. This blocks here. This blocks here. He's gonna gain 2 life. Does pinging do anything? Probably not. Hopefully he's out of tricks at this point. Were any of those Shen? Looks like they're just actual stand unites. Oh hey, it's Thermogenic Beam. He didn't do anything else to save anything else, so I'm assuming he doesn't have anything. Also, I can't play as if he doesn't, and he has a deny. That's unfortunate. How many mushrooms? 10? I can't play both, so it doesn't matter. Beast below. That is a card. That is a lot of damage. We do have the sharp side at least, if he chooses to buff his Abyssal Eye. I think we can block enough damage here to matter. Well, that's not enough. Nine, 10, 11. So this has to block here. 9, 10, 11. So Lux can block and we're not dead. Can Lux survive any of these? And it does not look like she can. Wait. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nah, we gotta block here, right? Puts us to 1, so hopefully he just doesn't have 1 extra damage. It's a lot of hoping. He does have 21 puff caps, so we have a chance. How many? 17? We might just have him on puff caps, I don't know. It's close. It is close. Yikes. I mean, we should be fine, I think, right? Block here, block here, block here, block here, block here, and detain to the healthiest guy. Even though he'll die and he'll get his guy back. We get 2 more turns for him to draw 2 puff caps, which the odds are pretty in our favor at this point. I'm not even going to play this right now. Got him. Whew. That was rough. Oh. Alright, let's see here. I think it's definitely Thermogenic Beam. If there's anything that last match taught us, is that we don't have enough removal. It's super flexible removal. How many? We have 3 puff cap published. Crazy. I didn't even realize. Although, Redeemer for Brilliance isn't bad. Unfortunately, we need the beam. One more wave, Dave. Elise Darius. Presumably spider aggro of some variety. Obviously it's expeditions and he can't craft exactly what he wants all the time, but Badger Bear's good. I think we just kick the Apprentice. Probably cast a Stone too. We need ways to deal with Elise coming down. He either has equal numbers or more Elises, so. Precious Pet, pretty expected. We can attack here. It's unlikely he just swings. It's more likely he plays like a Skitter or something, and then we'll have Badger Bear or Arachnoid Sentry. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It's gonna get harder and harder for him to press through if he greeds for that Elise. Death's Hand. Do I care? Not enough to use Sharp Sight. Skitter's not enough because we have Sharp Sight, so. That's a weird attack. Brothers Bond? Oh, Decisive Maneuver. Interesting. It's not Grant, right? It's just for the turn? Yeah, just for the turn. He's putting a lot of effort into protecting this Elise. Oops. Ooh, back-to-back's a good draw there, though. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9. Let's play this. He could attack with the elephant, and I probably won't block it. Yeah, I have no real reason to block it. That's a weird switch. We're pretty well set up to beat aggro decks. So those chunkier mid-range ones we'll have a problem with. Or really, really late game ones we might have a problem with. Let's see here. I don't think I make any of these trades. Like, Gotcha's fine, but there's some consideration to switch Badger Bear for Lancer, but Badger Bear's just so, I mean, we saw last game, Badger Bear's just so solid. 3-4 is really hard for people to deal with without spending resources. Yeah, I think we skip. The chair cylinder has a slow leak in it, so I slowly sink to the ground. It's really annoying. Freljord. Freljord always scares me. I think freeze effects are scarier than like Vengeance and Ruination. I weirdly like keeping both beams. Sure. Know what he's got from Freljord. He must have a ping. I don't know why you'd ever choose to block there. There's more value in the challenger, generally, than anything else. Unfortunate. I mean, he'll pull him. If he, oh, he did it to keep for caretaker, I guess. I mean, that's fine. That really surprises me. Interesting. Oh, even more interesting. He didn't even choose to attack. I mean, back-to-back deals with all of that pretty handedly. Withering Whale could be a little annoying. But other than that, I'm not really sure what to be too scared of here. 3 that turns into a 4, sure. Sure. I can still Static Shock it next turn. Let's see, 3 allies die. I could just tri-beam that. He does get a 5 drop, if he has one. And he does not. This guy really likes his health total. I wonder if he has an 8 drop. Negative. Alright. Alright, I think we're good. I was gonna say Vengeance could be a small problem, but... I'm not particularly worried about it anymore. I can just pass. I don't really need to kill one. If he attacks with them first, then... Alright. You can get a 4 drop. It's kind of annoying, I guess. Yeah. That was interesting. Voltahelia deck in Expeditions. I haven't had much luck with it myself. It's too build-aroundy to rely on random cards to give you what you need. Okay, so, see, now there's 7 trades. Sometimes it's 5. I wonder if it's based on the number of trades you make along the way. Like, if you make fewer trades... It must be. If you make... No, I have no idea. It's gotta be tied to that somehow. Anyway, we have 3 Aftershocks. I don't mind picking up a single combat just to have access to one, because as of right now we don't. Death Ray, again, is kind of... It's okay. It's not super exciting, but we do have 3 Aftershocks, and I don't mind trading one out there. Reinforcements, probably not. It's a little too slow. I mean, Gotcha versus Aftershock. 3 to anything or destroy landmark. 3 to a unit. Aftershock's just... it's just always treats it as if you drew it, but it's better otherwise, so... We'll just keep this. And I don't want to trade for either of those. Redoubled Valor versus Unstable Voltition. I mean, Redoubled Valor is pretty bad. You can win with it. It's just more often than not, you're just opening yourself up to getting screwed over. And I'd rather just have, even though Voltition's not particularly great, this is a deck that casts a lot of 6+ spells, so it could be an 8/4 quick attack more often than it would be randomly otherwise. So. 15 spells, still not enough to be worth going Karina. Chempunk is interesting, although I think Silverwing Vanguard's just better. Just for the challenger. Chempunk is cute, though. Any other card, I might consider it, just to get rid of the Voltition, which I don't love most of the time, but can't do that one. Definitely not making that trade. That's an interesting trade, actually. Because Astute Academic isn't, like, regularly... Like, sometimes it's a 2/2, or it's quite often a 2/2 versus a 1/1. But, Mage Seeker gives us gas. Eager Apprentice for Grizzled Ranger. Grizzled Ranger's pretty solid. Wish I could trade both of these. I think we'll do this. Grizzled Ranger's just a good card. We have 1, 2, 2 actual 4-drops, and then spells. Now that's interesting. Oh, here we go. Actually, is Assembly Bot even worth it? Most of our spells aren't that cheap, so I don't even know that that's worth it. I'm not trading single combat. I don't know how often the single combat's going to be good, but I like having one in the deck. It's obviously great with Lux. I don't really think I want to trade Eager Apprentice for Mystic Shot. Mystic Shot's good, but we have a couple Thermos, so it's not like the end of the world. Ballistic Bot is good. Ballistic Bot's real good. This is tough. I think Succession is too strong in this deck. Being able to use it as a 2-drop. I think we have to skip here again. How many 3s do we have? Badger Bear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 3s. Why couldn't it be Redeemer for Ballistic Bot? I really like having access to Detain. But I think we need to have the bot so we don't get run over in the early game. Since we traded out a 2, I think. Or 1. We traded out some of our early game. Zed Quinn, yep. Glad we picked up that early, that Ballistic Bot. So we may be needing to chump. Thermojag Beam is great. I think Tri-Beam's probably too slow without having 3s in our hand. Chair sinking again. Do we play? Yes. I want to be able to Ezreal and Mystic Shot, so I think we'll just do this. That's awkward. He likely passes here if he has Zed, just to let us use our Mystic Shot first. Is he debating using Sharp Sight here? Here we'll probably play Apprentice if he gives us a window 2 into Thermogenic Beam, or if he plays Zed, we'll just Thermogenic Beam. Strike, create a Shadow Fiend. If he has single combat, we're really sad. But I don't know that we can really play around it, so... Actually, you know what we can do? We can just do this. And just take the hit. It's not the end of the world. What else does he have? It's going pretty hard to protect this guy, so I'm guessing that's kind of where he's putting his proverbial eggs. Is he really going to... Oh, okay, interesting. Unlikely we ever get to cast Sky's Descent anyway. That's a problem. He'll likely grab these two. He's got another spell. Alright. It's fine. He is running out of gas. We are too. But the fewer cards he has, the more likely we have a chance of actually coming back into this. This is looking rough. Because those guys are going to grow from all of his ephemeral dudes. It's looking real rough. only has one card left. Oh, that's so good for us. Like, yeah, our guy dies to the pole, but I need this to be a brick, though. Or we're in some serious trouble. We have no dragons or celestials, so that's a completely dead card. He plays 3 of those. We're facing down a metric ton of damage. We're still probably dead, right? Pulls, pulls. If we're not dead, we're very close to it. He'll pull Lux. Yeah. Four, five, six, seven. If I block, yeah. Ooh. Not good. That's fine. So we're dead to a full open attack. Let's see if he sees it. Come on, get greedy. Just play another unit. Unfortunate. We are real dead. We whiffed pretty hard on our 6-drop spells. Sky's Descent and Aurora Borealis. We're not great ones. Oh right, that was Battle 7. You only get 1 try. That's fine though. I'm pretty happy with 6 wins with that deck. It was not optimal. And we get another attempt to try 4-7 to improve it, so 6 isn't bad. We'll go ahead and open up the Epic Prismatic Chest. Let's see what we get. Ooh, Shiny Go Get It. Or Shiny Zap Spray Fin. Or Shiny Tiana. I like Go Get It. I don't really play this card that much, but I am a fan of the card. Maybe I should just do Zap. Zap's basically always played. I don't think it really matters. Yeah, we'll do Go Get It. I like the card more. And a Hundo Essence. Puts us up to 250. We'll go pick up our green essence. Hopefully some wild cards. Wild cards are ideal. Essentially, because I don't have any cards to unlock, really, it's going to give me almost entirely shards. So wild cards are preferred because it's basically double the shard value. Alright, that ends this run. Thank you for joining, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed. Drop a comment, let me know if you see any big mistakes I made, or if you have suggestions for future content, if there's certain decks you want to see on ladder, for example. I'm going to be doing some laddering here soon, and we're going to be hitting up those gauntlets this week once I solidify the deck lists that I want to run. Now that we've completed that quest, we'll probably tone down the expeditions a little bit. And yeah, thanks for joining.